Hello everyone, my name is TroyPM, and if you aren't too informed on Geometry Dash drama, pretty much ever since the placement of Acheron at the #1 spot on the demon list, there has been this huge war regarding the level. Now usually whenever there's a big drama over a new top 1, it might be because the verifier hacked it, maybe people don't think it's top 1, maybe the creator stole assets in the level, maybe just something reasonable. Well, what was the big controversy for this top 1? Well, at this UFO part at 33%, usually, you're supposed to click at this blue pad once, but players found out that if you clicked a second time here, it would turn this originally extremely hard click into a less extremely hard click. Yep, all these petty arguments, long Twitter threads, community figure responses over this. Why am I not surprised? Before going any further, I think I should quickly go over the history of this drama. On August 22nd, Zoink verified Acheron. Very soon after, people started making progress on the level, and this was around the time the skip, as they called it, started being used in progress of the level. Ramu wasn't too happy about this, so he patched out the skip by adding a spike in the way. I guess that the spike wasn't play tested that well, because the spike in the way actually made the whole part impossible. The level was updated again an hour or two later, where this time there's a trigger orb, and if you hit it, then a spike was toggled on and you die from it. There was obviously a lot of backlash to this, mostly because of the fact that these updates were pushed out with nobody re-verifying the level. And people complained enough to the point where Ramu had to update the level to get rid of the added spike. Fortunately, all of this happened before the level was placed on the list, so we could have swept all of this under the rug. But that wasn't the end of it, because a few months later, Ramu updated the level again, and this time if you did the extra click, instead of just killing you, it would make this follow you throughout the entire rest of the level. Now it was a big problem. The level was at the #1 spot at this point, and yet again the level had been reverted. But guess what? Zoink went out of his way to verify a buffed version of the level with the sole intention to get rid of the extra click. But the level couldn't be updated this time because of the fact that Rob Top himself update locked the level so that no more changes could be made ever, pretty much putting an end to the whole controversy, to much celebration and dismay from both sides of the community. Now, I'm gonna dissect each part of this controversy and give my opinions on what happened during it. While you might already have your own opinion on the matter, I think after this, you may leave realizing how dumb and pointless this whole controversy really was. Before everything else, let us ask if it's even ethical to use this skip or not. I hope this answer could give you a fair assumption on what my stance on that matter is. Can we please stop calling this a fucking skip, okay? It's not a fucking skip, alright? It's just a goddamn different click pattern. But I can't see people's reasoning as to why they think this is a skip, especially considering the evolution of difficulty in this game. I think the last top 1 in the game with any ability to use different click patterns was Tartarus, or maybe even Zodiac. Ever since Slaughterhouse took the top spot, every single top 1 following it has had extremely tight hitboxes, with zero wiggle room at all, pretty much making every completion of a level look like a macro was playing it. All until a little extra click was found in Acheron that would make the next click easier. But I mean, it was just a single extra click. I still think of it as just a different click pattern. It won't fall 12 places down the list if it's there or not. I don't think you should go on and just patch the click out. I think that buff dating the level was a stupid idea. Adding a spike there just to get rid of a different click pattern is really unfair to the people who might have already gotten consistent doing it this way, and also just straight up overreacting. But yet again, shouldn't creators be allowed to update their levels? Creators are really what drives this game's community. Without their levels, there wouldn't be players, and without players, then what really is this game? So should creators have the right to patch out any mistakes that they see in their levels? I would be tempted to say yes to this, but then again, you have to think back to situations like Battle of the Shades by GD Virus, an otherwise okay demon level that was transformed into a top 10 demon layout by the creator just because some people thought the level wasn't that good. Mattmar has a good video on this situation, you should go check it out, but because of things like this and tons of other examples, it is hard to 100% trust creators to update their levels fairly. But I mean, that was just a hard demon. What about a level like Digital Descent, a former top 1 that got a buff date after it was placed on the list? Did that have to be reverted? No. And in all likeliness, it should have, because it was already on the list and people already beat the level whenever it received its update. Also, a singular spike is very little in comparison to the buffs that Digital Descent and Battle of the Shades received. So what's the answer to this problem? Well, in my opinion, I think that creators should have the right to patch out any mistakes out of a rated level of theirs, whether it be a secret way or a decoration mistake or whatnot. But as soon as patching out these mistakes ends in changing the difficulty of the original layout, then it becomes a problem and shouldn't be allowed to be updated. "Oh, so you allow decoration updates to rated levels?" said the petty Ramu. "Well, I think I made a mistake here. Should this be acceptable now?" Well, yeah, I guess, but you're just being an asshole now. Why the hell are we punishing players for going the easier way rather than rewarding players for going the hard way? I think that's the simple answer to this question. While yes, in no way does this actually affect the way players play the level, invalidating the rest of a player's run of the hardest level in the game all over an extra click is really fucking petty. Let's go back to Digital Descent real quick. While it might have received a buff date while on the list, another thing it did was allow players to do different click patterns and skips. Hell, if you go out of your way to hit some hard to reach toggle triggers, you could activate these at the end screen. Does it give you anything else? No, it doesn't even give you a user coin. You know, the feature that was added to encourage players to go a harder route. Why can't you just put some user coins at the end, or even just a visual if a player so happens to do it the harder way? And if you're typing at your keyboard right now, well, you know, the easier click pattern in Acheron is unintentional compared to the intended route of Digital Descent, so it should be patched out. Then let's go back to the predecessor of Digital Descent, Artificial Ascent. In Manix's cube transition, you're supposed to hit all of these orbs. People found it easier to jump over them. In Zethick's cube maze, you're supposed to hit these two blue orbs. People found it much easier to jump off of this block right here. In Etzer's ship part, the skip is so popular that it's even used in the verification of the level. You never saw Vibrant buffing the shit out of Manix's cube transition or adding some visual to Etzer's ship part. So why are we seeing Ramu do this over something as little as an extra click? That's pretty much it for the whole controversy. I was going to talk about Zoink re-verifying that buffed version of the level, but at that point RobTop had already update locked the level, so there was really no point to doing that. You may be wondering what I was talking about whenever I said this whole drama was dumb and pointless in the beginning. And, well, mostly because there still seems to be no clear-cut answer to it all. There are still people defending Zoink and Ramu for what they did, and still people like me here to remind them that they're all acting like this over an extra click. Also, this video was in no way meant to reignite the flames that this drama was. To be honest, it was just a video idea that I had in mind since January when all of this was wrapping up. You could have your own opinion, I could have mine. Let us all admit that this controversy will probably never affect us because most of us will never get this far in Acheron anyway. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll see you all whenever. Bye.